What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing you the latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. And today's news, it's the same as it's been. A disaster. I can't. I don't really know what more to say. This is starting to get on my nerves, and the Nets are currently 10-21. It is currently January 2nd, 2014. Let me wish you all first a late Happy New Year. I hope everyone had fun. I just look at this team now, and I just see disaster. Nobody is playing the way they're supposed to be playing. Of the big players. You know, if I were to rate each individual player right now, not one net would be above a B. Except for maybe Alan Anderson, who has really came out of nowhere, which no one really expected. He was assigned to be a 15th man on the team, and he's a great play. He's played very well. And maybe Plumlee, you can put him higher. And some days Teletovic, some days not. Lopez was the only one who I would say was basically playing the way he was supposed to be playing. If you look at this team, nobody is playing the way they're supposed to be playing it, except for, like I said, Lopez, who's now hurt, as we all know, and out for the year. And then Alan Anderson has exceeded expectations. Teletovic has done very well, and Plumlee has done well. That's it. Teletovic, Plumlee, and Anderson, and Lopez. But like I said, Lopez is kind of disregarded. But those three, and I'll put Lopez as in half, players are the only players who have done what they're supposed to do this year for the Nets. If you were going to tell me that the trade earlier this year for Garnett, Pierce, and Terry, that Jason Terry is going to be the most productive player of those three, I would have just thought you were kidding. But that's the case. And Jason Terry hasn't been very productive. I mean, he's been hurt. When he's playing, he's been okay. But he's been much better than Pierce and Garnett. You know what? Garnett, I'm going to put him on the back burner because I'm about to go off on him later. Pierce, you know what? I feel like it's a lose situation, lose-lose with Pierce, because this is a guy who's used to being really the number one scoring option, and now he was number 4, or 3, and now him and Joe Johnson don't work. God, it gets me so mad. I said that earlier, and now you're seeing it more than ever. You need complementary players there. Those guys don't complement each other. They're just too slow. They're slow. Both of them are slow, unathletic, post-up power guys. And Pierce, it really seems like if Pierce is not in the main flow of the offense, that he struggles. He's had a couple games this year that he's done very well. And that's because he's been aggressive and they've been giving the ball to him a lot, and he's been almost the focal point of the offense. But when he sits and kind of goes to the back burner, he gets cold and he doesn't do well and he misses his shots. They're flat. And I knew that was going to happen. Paul Pierce is the type of player who needs to be in the flow of the offense to be good. Joe Johnson's kind of the same way. And so the thing about Joe Johnson is he can turn it on like that, if you noticed. He can do nothing for half the game and then all of a sudden in a quarter explode for 20 points. And that's the good thing about Joe Johnson. Paul Pierce doesn't seem like he can do that. He needs to be in the flow. And because of that, he's been very inconsistent. And then I don't really know much more to say about Paul Pierce other than inconsistency, which has been really the story of the Nets team this season. Lopez was the only consistent player. He was the only guy you can guarantee was going to give you at least 20 points, and good effort. But Paul Pierce, that's just it. He needs to be in the flow of the offense. And if he doesn't get in the flow of the offense, he struggles. Kevin Garnett is a completely different story. He just sucks beyond belief. I have never seen a guy age so much in 1 year than Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett averaged 14 points last year and 7.8 rebounds. Shot the ball around 50% from the field. Now he can't even make a damn layup. You ever see Garnett get the ball under the basket? He misses the layup. He's 7 feet tall. He can't make a damn layup. And that mid-range jump shot of his that he used to make almost like routinely is completely off now. He's shooting 37% this season. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he needs to be in the flow of the... I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me why Garnett has completely fallen off the face of the earth. But he has. He's fallen off the face of the earth. Pierce is being inconsistent. Lopez is hurt. And Darren Williams is one of the most overrated players ever. I take it back, Dwight. I am apologizing to you. Dwight Howard, you're no longer the most overrated player. You're not. I'm sorry. You're number 2. Freaking Darren Williams is the most overrated player I have ever seen. And I have given him benefit of the doubt, the fact of his ankles, which, by the way, every damn game he rolls his ankles. What the hell? He's got glass feet or something. I don't freaking know. He's so bad. He can never make a big play. He turns the ball over too much. He kind of becomes too passive when he should be scoring more. And he just can't play consistent. It drives me crazy. He's got so much talent, and he's stupid. He's stupid. Oh my God. This season is almost a lost cause, but it's not because of how weak the East is. The Nets are still, I think, only like 4 games out of the 8th spot. But at 10-21, it is just really bad. Now, Andre Kirilenko is back. You know, he was whatever against the Spurs. That was just a disaster on New Year's Day. That was just New Year's Eve, that was just bad. He is back. Terry's back. Basically, everyone who was injured is back, except for Lopez, who will be out for the season. And you know what? This team just seems so messed up. You gotta fire Jason Kidd. There's no other way around it. This team is not going to magically figure it out. They're not going to. Not without at least a different voice or a different player. So either the Nets have to trade and bring in some player to help mesh these guys together. I'm not even sure who. Or they need to get rid of Jason Kidd, bring in a veteran, hard-nosed coach like a Jerry Sloan. I think that'd be really awesome to help the team mesh together, because right now they're just scattered pieces of disaster. That's what they are. I can't speak any more than that. They don't win as a team. They win with their talent, if that makes any sense. They're a very talented team, and when they win their games, like against the Bucks or against the Bucks, which they have 2 wins, the Bucks, they just beat the Bucks. When they win their games, they do it because of their individual talent is better than those teams. But as a team effort, team talent always will overplay and outplay individual talent. And team talent is something like the Spurs, who just mesh as a team really well. You know, a team right now like the Trailblazers, they're team talent. They all complement each other. They're team talent. You know, I want to say the Heat are team talent because they kind of are, but they don't really mesh too well. But they're so talented that they kind of create team talent. But individual talent is like the Nets, like the Knicks, like Carmelo Anthony. Individual talent, not team talent. Players like, you know, what I personally thought about Dwight Howard. Individual talent, not team talent. And I feel like the Nets are just filled of individual talented players like a Joe Johnson, like a Darren Williams. And Darren Williams was supposed to be considered a team talent player, but he's not. You know, but Joe Johnson, you know, Garnett, Pierce, these guys are individual talented players who need other pieces, either a coach or another player, to gel them into the team. You understand what I'm saying? You know? Do you get it? You need the glue to stick all the pieces together. And the Nets right now don't have that glue. It was supposed to be Darren Williams. It's not. Darren Williams, obviously, it's becoming very obvious to me that Darren Williams only succeeded in Utah because of Jerry Sloan. I think that's what it was. He also had a go-to scorer in Carlos Boozer, which he did have here with Brook Lopez, but now he's hurt. So I think the Nets need to pair up Williams with another really good post guy or big that they can do a pick and roll, because that's what he was really strong with in Utah. And he needs a real coach like Jerry Sloan Jason Kidd isn't going to do it anymore. And I'm convinced that Darren Williams himself is not good enough. They need a new leader. They need a new coach. Jason Kidd, get fired. Please get fired. Billy King, please do it. It's the only way this team's going to turn it around. Because you can go out there and try to make a trade. And I remember last week, I said try to get, a Sheik. I still back that up. I still think he will really help the Nets out. But right now, I think you got to make a coaching change before you do that. I think Jason Kidd's got to go. Bring in a coach. I want Jerry Sloan. I really do. You can't get Shaw anymore. Lionel Hollins is an assistant coach. I forget for what team. So those guys are really out of the picture. It's really just Jerry Sloan is the only guy who's really available who you can go out there and get. Or maybe they should try bringing back PJ. I don't know. It could work. PJ Carlissimo. I think he did a fantastic job last year. Yeah, he kind of lost the team a little bit towards the end, but it wasn't really his fault. And maybe you need to bring in a guy who understands the personnel of the team. Jason Kidd just kind of went from a player to a coach. I don't know. PJ's out there. He's available. Jerry Sloan will be my first choice. He's available. Obviously, you're not going to choose Stan Van Gundy because Stan Van Gundy had those comments about how the Nets are a Bush League team, whatever. That's kind of I don't know how to respond to that. I like Jeff Van Gundy, though. So right now, if I'm the Nets, I'm firing Jason Kidd and I'm looking at Jerry Sloan, Jeff Van Gundy, PJ Carlissimo. Hell, maybe they should bring back Avery Johnson. I don't know. Anybody's better than Jason Kidd. It's just ridiculous. Or Lawrence Frank. Oh no, I said the evil name. I don't get it. I don't get this team. It's just a disaster. The coach, Jason Kidd's got to go. Billy King's got to look at this team, and he's got to figure out what to do. I think they need to get more athletics. I think they need to run more. I don't like the idea of trying to break up this team, but I just don't like Paul Pierce and Joe Johnson working together anymore. They just don't work. You know what? Paul Pierce is a great player, and he can help the Nets out, but he's also a valuable player that the Nets could probably use the trade. And I'm not at all saying the Nets should trade Paul Pierce. But I'm saying if you're going to trade a player, he's the one to trade. Because Garnett, you can't. He's got that no-trade clause. So you're stuck with him. I would say him, but you're stuck with him. And then Darren Williams is still 28. He's still a guy you're expecting to build a team around. Brook Lopez, obviously, he's hurt, but you're expecting to build a team around him. And Joe Johnson, no one's going to take that contract. And I like Kirilenko, and I think Terry's not too bad coming off the bench. So when you look at this team, Paul Pierce is the guy I think that needs to be traded if you're going to try to make a trade. His contract's $15 million. It's an expiring contract, so you can trade him to a team that's looking for a salary dump. Maybe you trade for a player or two. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it beyond the fact that he's the most tradable player. Maybe next week I'll give you some scenarios in which I really think that they could do. But like I said, I'm not saying trade Paul Pierce. But I'm saying if you're going to trade anybody, he's the one to do it. But really, I think they just got to get rid of Jason Kidd. They need a new leader, new voice, new identity, new everything. Because this team is 10-21. They should not be under 500, even without Lopez. Because I still think they're a much better team. Actually, I know they're a much better team. I have to figure it out. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to fire Kidd and just go. Just fire him, bring in a new guy, say whatever, Jason Kidd, we're sorry. Or maybe demote Jason Kidd. Maybe demote him to assistant coach and bring in another guy. And then, but I don't know. Maybe that'll cause even more problems. I don't know. Just do something. Just do something. Because I'm slowly losing hope each loss. I mean, they playing the Thunder tonight. Then they got the Cavaliers, which they lost to. Then they got the Hawks, who's doing a better team than they've been of late. Then they got Golden State. I'm just losing hope. They got to do something. But anyway, fire Kidd. I'll take out my guitar, sing that song again. I don't know. 14 minutes. Patty on 14 minutes of me just not knowing what the hell to do with this team. Well, hopefully the Nets figure something out. But anyway, this is NetsBoy. Still really upset. Ugh. I don't